Right, welcome to the blog for Friday 14th of September. So, same situation, this market, it's pushing up. Again, in the pre-market, we pushed right up into an area where we've never really been before. I'll just bring up the daily chart for a second. You can see we're just extending, and the market's just not hanging around like, you look back here, for example, plenty of areas to look at. The market shows up plenty of support and resistance lines. It's a great area to trade, even though as far as the daily chart looks, it looks congested. But on a shorter term scale, on a intraday scale, on a 5 minute chart, 1 minute chart, fantastic trading opportunities. At the moment, we've just pushed up like this, and we're not really hanging around in any spot to confirm some solid areas which the market wants to use. Again and again, the market just repeats itself and keeps respecting certain areas in the market. They might bounce off it. If they get underneath it, then they'll come back to it, bounce underneath it. It's just the way the markets move and operate. So at the moment, and it's been sort of an example of this week why no trades again, and a week, and the first week in I think forever really, that haven't had any actual taken any trades. It's because there's no actual key levels in the market, so 2/3 of the trading plan sort of gets left behind. Well, not 2/3, probably more like a half, but I'm just left with sort of reversal opportunities because they work well when there's not as many key areas, which is an area here I want to talk about, and also the first trend of the day. I mean, that doesn't necessarily need key areas. It's just looking at picking at first trend if it ticks all the boxes. But overall, it's restricting my opportunities, having a lack of areas. So the only thing today really, before I start trading new, it's either look at the first trend of the day. Once that goes, then just looking at reversal patterns based on the fact that there's no key areas in the market. There was one, say, down here, the gap, but we never came back to that area there. So first move of the day, directional breakout. You can see I've put a box around the pre-market data here. So here's the top. All the markets looked exactly the same. They're pushing straight through. So this is just one of these ones where ideally want to create a pivot round about this breakout box area, but that didn't form. The market pushed through it, then look for it to buy back off the box as a support. You can see the 1 minute chart shows it fairly well. So where was it there? 58, 50. So it's pushed through at least 4 ticks, which you want to see, gone through 6 ticks, come back, use it as support exactly, and then away it's went. So again, it's just a case of sitting there at the limit order, and I could look at taking it up 1 tick, but it's just the fact that this limit order is just this. A lot of times you're going to get left behind. That's happened. I think it's happened a few times this week. It's happened quite a bit lately. But when I look back over all the directional breakout trades, as far as sitting here and kind of behind the order and behind the price and waiting to get filled, so many have been left behind. And like I say, time and time again, if it's going to be a stop out, well, then you're going to get filled because it's got to come through you and then stop you out. So just got to be very careful of that. That's why I prefer now to change, look for a pivot entry where I get above the price or below the price, whichever way the market's heading, and it goes through me, and it's a stop order, and you don't get left behind. But today, a good example of a limit order just didn't get picked up. But it's just a good example of how when the markets are strong and you see all the markets going together, it's the chances of it coming back through this top of this pre-market, it's quite unlikely. It's come back, uses support, and away it's gone. From there, we've come down, we've sort of topped out, we started coming back. So this is the sort of thing I want to see, where the market goes to continue its trend back to the upside, but everything starts to fail and it comes breaking and putting a lot of pressure on this pivot here. So let me mark it. So this pivot here, and as the market comes down to it, seeing what they're doing, and that's a reversal pattern, or basically continuation of this new trend. So it's not like it's counter trending or anything like that. It's basically a new direction, but getting all the other markets and all the all the boxes ticked. So yeah, this is changing direction. It's gonna it's not going to go back to its highs. It's going to continue with this new direction. So this is an ideal situation where you see something like this 5 minute buy, see it fail, and then come back and break that pivot. Today it was never going to be a good opportunity to get a reversal. This 5 minute buy was one that looked very likely to work. I liked it. I mean, I don't specifically take them as a 5 minute buy. They've got to be off key levels, but I know that these particular ones do work well. As far as 5 minute buys goes, it was a fairly good one. All the other markets were pushing up. The Russell was very keen on the upside, and in the end it's failed. It's come back and just broken pivot, and then before popping up. But you can see, didn't take the reversal today, even though it would have been a stop out. It would have just broken and then popped back up. but clear evidence today that it didn't have any momentum through here because, like I said, the Russell and a few markets were very much hanging, still trying to push higher. No, a few of them didn't even come close to breaking this pivot, not even close, well away from it. The only one was ES, for some reason, want to come down here, have a bit of look before going higher. So an easy one to leave behind, and it's very important to watch and use the other markets in those particular situations, especially when you've got something to base it on, or a specific area you want to see whether all the other markets breaking. This example here, you'll be able to see this pivot on all the markets. You'll also be able to see that, actually I should bring it up, the Russell that was nowhere near it. There's the Russell there, so there's that pivot. You can see as pivot, that one there actually it is. Russell just never got there, didn't even come close to it, and just continued to go higher. So an easy one to leave alone. Whereas this directional one here, while I'm talking about that, sort of there's the top of the pre-market here for the Russell, and then as I'm looking to buy, like here's where it's coming back and bouncing off the top of the pre-market with the ES. So you can see here's the Russell. It's well and truly away from its pre-market. It's very much on the upside, so it's pushing all the momentum's on the upside. It's going to drag, something like the ES, drag it and continue to push it up higher. Remember that's sort of the theory of it anyway. So good area, just no fill. This one here, the setup was there, but certainly didn't tick all the boxes, so an easy one to leave alone. So that's the week done. It was, for myself, and everyone trades differently. I realise, some people might have got some fantastic trades, but purely based on the way I trade and keeping it to specific areas and involving key levels. It was a week that was very, very slim for myself. And I'll be back Monday.